The woman and the child were staring intently at the man eating beside them. The woman was a fraud pretending to help people write letters at the train station. But one day, she encountered the child who had lost his mother. She rescued him from the human traffickers and was planning to reunite him with his father. However, they accidentally lost their luggage while on the bus. Now penniless, they could only watch others eat hungrily. A kind man noticed and shared some food with them. At the table, the man was warm and friendly, and they quickly became engrossed in conversation. The man later invited them to ride in his truck. Joshua asked him how often he went home. They arrived at a gas station for unloading. Joshua helped with the unloading using his small shoulders. But as he watched other children eating snacks, his mouth watered and evil thoughts arose. So he stole some snacks. Dora, after finding out, scolded Joshua angrily. She then went to a grocery store and stole some cookies and bread herself, but she was caught by the owner. Fortunately, the driver intervened and saved her from trouble. Back in the car, Dora shared the stolen snacks with Joshua. The man who saw everything didn't expose her. Hearing that Joshua dreams of driving a truck when he grows up, Dora asked the man to let Joshua touch the steering wheel. The man then taught him how to drive towards a bright road. Joshua showed a smile that had been absent for a long time. At night, soft lights illuminated Dora for the first time, who had been cold. They were just chance encounter friends, and it would be difficult for them to meet again after parting. Dora calmly said maybe they don't have to separate. At noon, they arrived at a roadside restaurant. Dora asked Joshua to go play on his own first while she continued to chat with the man. She slowly reached out her hand to the man, but he remained silent, silently watching her. Then Dora wanted to go to the bathroom to sober up. During this time, she remembered Joshua saying that she didn't even wear lipstick, which is why she couldn't get along with men. So she borrowed someone else's lipstick and applied it. However, when Dora returned to the restaurant, she saw the man's car driving away in the distance. Dora leaned against the windowsill and burst into tears. This blow made her more convinced that men could not be trusted, and only Joshua was there to comfort her. On the rest of the journey, they continued to hitchhike and soon arrived at Joshua's father's home, a deserted pasture. Joshua ran all the way, eager to see his father. However, the residents there told them that Joshua's father had already moved away. Holding the letter, they sat on the roadside in the small town helplessly. They were now penniless, couldn't continuing their journey. But when Joshua saw many people who believed in deities, his eyes lit up. He approached them and asked if they needed to write letters to gods or family members.
E a senhora escreve? É só R$1.
After setting up a small table, they started their business. Joshua worked hard in front of the booth, attracting people who wanted to write letters to deities. The people here were extremely fanatical in their beliefs, to the point that everyone's faces were filled with happiness. By the evening, they had earned a lot of money. They played and laughed along the way. Joshua gave Dora a dress as a gift, and they took a photo together on the roadside. They no longer had to sleep on the streets and checked into a hotel. Joshua threw those letters in the trash like Dora used to do. Suddenly, Dora stopped Joshua's action. She wanted to send the letters. The earnest desire for a better life and the deep longing for loved ones touched her deeply. At night, they lay in bed and chatted, finally relieved of their exhaustion after the long journey. Dora kissed Joshua's forehead firmly. The next day, they continued on their journey by car. They arrived at a neatly arranged small town where every house looked the same. On the way, Dora asked Joshua if he remembered what his father looked like.
Tem hora que eu lembro. Depois de desmanchar na minha cabeça.
Afterward, Dora said he will forget her in the future. Joshua instantly panicked because he didn't want to forget Dora.
Você vai me esquecer.
They arrived in front of a house, supposedly Joshua's father's new address, but a stranger came out. The stranger told them that Joshua's father had already disappeared without a trace. Hearing this, Joshua left in melancholy, and Dora hurriedly went to his side, telling him that if he didn't have a family, he could consider her as his next family.
Você não quer vir comigo, hein? Moleque, eu gostaria. Você sabe, eu gostaria muito.
And so the Twilight witnessed their oath. They arrived at the station and asked about train schedules to prepare to go home. At that moment, a person approached. He had heard that someone was looking for his father, so he came over to ask about it. It turned out he was Joshua's half-brother. They also had another brother. They all knew about their younger brother Joshua. After their father went missing, the two of them moved away and opened a small shop to continue their carpentry business. Then the elder brother took out a letter left by their father and asked Dora to read it. The letter revealed that after their father's first wife passed away, he got together with Joshua's mother. However, when Joshua's mother was pregnant, she went to Rio and their father went to look for her. After that, he disappeared without a trace. In the letter, their father asked about the whereabouts of Joshua and his mother. He had someone help him write the letter, believing that they must have found their new home. But he was still in Rio looking for them. He would come back immediately. The whole family, including 3 children, would live together. No one knew whether Dora's words were true or false, but Joshua firmly believed that their father would come back. The elder brother had already been filled with tears. That night, Dora changed into the dress that Joshua had bought for her and put on lipstick. Dora remembered that Joshua said she looked good with lipstick. Then she placed the letter written by Joshua's mother on the table. She felt like she was personally sending the letter out. Finally, she quietly walked out of Joshua's house. This is his home now. The thin mist in the distance was dreamlike, slowly turning white. Dora walked towards the direction where the sun would rise. At that moment, Joshua suddenly felt a strong connection in his heart. He woke up and searched for Dora, but she was nowhere to be found. He quickly ran out of the house and headed to the station. Joshua ran barefoot and desperately as Dora boarded the bus. As soon as she got on, the bus immediately started, giving Joshua no time. Dora, who had written countless letters for others, had never written a letter for herself. At this moment, she sat on the bus and began writing her first letter to Joshua. Dearest Joshua, you were right. Your dad will definitely come back home. I remember my dad was a truck driver. He would let me, a little girl, honk the horn. When you drive a truck for the first time in the future, don't forget, I was the first one who let you drive. If you want to remember me, take a look at our photo, but remember, never come looking for me. Your true home is with your older brothers. Tears streamed down Dora's face. Joshua was like the morning light, illuminating her. This journey not only brought Joshua the warmth of finding home, but also opened up Dora's cold heart. Dora and Joshua's journey began at night and ended at dawn. This movie holds a special place in my heart. I remember watching it in high school. It was the first Brazilian movie I ever saw. The movie beautifully depicts how people who have lost their sense of identity rediscover themselves. The scenes of people asking Dora to write letters were real. When the crew finished setting up the scene, locals approached Dora to ask for help writing letters, oblivious to the fact that a movie was being made. The director kept those genuine moments in the film, making it even more authentic. There is no substitute for the original movie. A good film is worth watching it yourself. But you don't know where you can watch these movies? Use Superbox. With Superbox, you can access all live TV channels in 4K quality. It also provides access to over 13,000 movies and series, and updates with the newest content very often. The total cost for one of these is 2 months of your cable bill. Then you never have to pay fees or bills ever again. Click the link in my bio and use my code to get it at a better price.